4 Americans suffer from high blood pressure. Another 1 in 3 don't even know they have it. Here with more is Dr. Ernst with Cornerstone Health Center. And Dr. Ernst, let's just kind of start right here. What are some of the dangers of having high blood pressure?
Well, I mean, it stems from the immediate dangers, which is the fact that elevated blood pressure puts a tremendous stress load on the vessels in our body. And I think long-term, the biggest risk is, of course, stroke and/or potential heart attack.
Well, so what are some of the medical approaches to control the high blood pressure?
Yeah, so in the medical field, our primary line of defense would be we use medications, typically things like ACE inhibitors or calcium channel blockers or diuretics. And listen, they work. I'm not going to say that the medications won't lower someone's blood pressure, but the problem is they don't address the reason the blood pressure is high. You have to take them generally for a long period of time, and there are some side effects to some of those medications that can be a little dangerous.
So you say they work, but they don't address the root problem.
Yeah, it's kind of like putting a bandage onto a wound but never letting the wound heal. So to address the real root cause of high blood pressure, we have to understand that there are known causes, everything stemming from a neurological interference to a disruption in the bacteria of your gut, and now to a leading new evidence of this molecule called TMAO.
So you say the best way to really address the problem of high blood pressure is to do it naturally, okay?
Yes.
What do you mean by that, and where do we start?
So we start with the first underlying root, which is inflammation. So we know that pressure works such that if the blood vessels are wide open, the flow of blood is very easy, so the pressure is low. Now, when things become inflamed, the vessels tend to constrict. And so under that constriction, the blood pressure would have to go up, simply because it's fluid dynamics. Smaller tube, lots of fluid flowing through, pressure elevates as a result.
Okay, now what about sugar?
So sugar is the main cause of that inflammation. See, a lot of people with high blood pressure are told it's the salt you eat or it's the fat you're consuming, when in fact there's actually salts that lower blood pressure if you use the right salts. But the sugar causes the inflammation, which makes the vessels swell and get thick, and they thin, and then the pressures go up.
So what about other things that's in your diet?
Well, this is now where the leading research is suggesting that diet is probably the second biggest player, because of the fact that when we eat corn-fed meats, so I'm sure you've heard that meat can cause high blood pressure and heart disease, but it's not the meat that does it. It's the fact that the meat is fed corn that elevates a molecule called choline, and if you have an infection in your intestines called SIBO, the choline is converted into a product called TMAO, which actually spikes your blood pressure.
Okay, so all right, I'm trying to wrap my head around this, all right?
Yes.
I know that inflammation is in your body, and inflammation is a big thing. So how can chiropractic care or treatments help to minimize or mitigate?
Great question.
Mitigate inflammation.
There was a study done at the University of Chicago where they discovered with a group of people who had really high blood pressure that was unresolved with medications, they released the pressure on the atlas or the vagus nerve, and there was a significant drop in blood pressure. It was equal to that of taking 2 blood pressure pills, and it lasted for 8 weeks with 1 treatment. So what they discovered is the vagus nerve actually tells the heart at what rate, rhythm, and speed to beat, so it can affect the blood pressure.
Okay, what are your thoughts on broth fasting? I know fasting is a big thing in our society right now, and
Yes.
everybody's doing it. So what are your thoughts?
Broth fasting is by far one of the best ways to naturally lower your blood pressure, because it does 2 things. It decreases the inflammation, and broth fasting helps to rebuild the microbiome, that's the bacteria in your intestines. So we talked before about the choline conversion from meat products. If we have the healthy bacteria in our gut, then we don't convert the choline into TMAO, and then the pressures can drop naturally.
Well, Dr. Ernst is offering a complimentary 15-minute consultation to discuss high blood pressure and other health issues. The number to call is 704-597-7490. Choose option 1, and the scheduling coordinator will make an appointment for you. You can also visit askdrernst.com/consultation. Dr. Ernst, thank you very much.
Thank you again.